I understood that I should be careful what I wrote, for he would read it. My only chance is to fall in with his request and prolong my opportunities and my life. May 29. There is a chance of escape. Now I know why I have not seen the Count in daylight. In desperation, I climbed down the wall to the Count's window, gripping the corners of the stones. I climbed in, empty, before a heap of gold coins in one corner. I took as much as my pockets would hold. I found a passageway down to an old ruined chapel. There were 40 or 50 boxes filled with newly dug earth, and in one lay Dracula. He looked younger. His white hair and mustache were changed to dark iron gray. His mouth was redder than ever, for blood trickled from its corners and ran over the chin and neck. I fled in terror from the sight. I must escape before sundown. I am at God's mercy. Oh, my darling Mina, I pray I live to see you again.
Mina Harker's journal, August 21st. No news from my dear husband Jonathan since July 26th, when I received a letter that he was starting home from Castle Dracula. I am getting quite uneasy about him. My stay with my dear friend Lucy and her mother cannot ease my mind. The North Sea coast has begun to look foreboding from the Westenra's summer home. Indeed, last night's storm was frightening, and then the ghastly fate of the Russian ship, the Demeter, which has set the whole village buzzing.
Captain's log, the Demeter. There seems to be doom over this ship. Rough weather, one by one, the men are disappearing during the night. Yet another man lost, worn out, no sleep, crew in panic, not enough manpower to work the sails, must leave them up. God seems to have deserted us. At midnight, went to relieve the man at the wheel. I found no one there, just me and the mate left. I am alone. The mate went below screaming that the demon was in the hold in one of the big boxes of clay we're transporting. I fear he's mad. He said he would unscrew them one by one to destroy him. I heard him scream, and then he bounded on deck shouting, "Save me," as he threw himself into the sea. God help me. The mate was right. I have seen him. I shall baffle this fiend and tie my hands to the wheel, holding that which he dare not touch.
Police report, August 21. Inspector in charge, Thomas Snelling. Called in to help with the Demeter business. Only the dead captain on board, lashed to the wheel. The cords had cut the flesh to the bone. He was holding a crucifix. Looking over the log, I cannot come to a conclusion on whether the captain committed the murders or what. Baffled. The cargo of 50 boxes of soil was released to the solicitor consigned for it. No sign of the dog that was seen leaping to shore from the schooner as it touched the ground. I have never come across a stranger situation than this one in all my...
Oh, Mina, it's so lovely sitting here.
My dear Lucy, I don't think of sitting in a graveyard as terribly lovely.
It overlooks the sea. It's restful.
You have been acting strangely, Lucy, and you're so pale. You've taken up your childhood habit of walking in your sleep again.
Have I, Mina?
Even in your sleep you seem to be watching. You look about the room for the key to the door when you find it locked, and all the time you're asleep.
I don't remember. Except my dreams. So real. A tall, dark man comes to make love to me in the moonlight.
And his name is Dr. Arthur Seward, your fiancé.
No, that's what's odd. It's someone else. Someone mysterious. He has such hypnotic eyes. And oh, the things he does to me, Mina.
Lucy! August 26th. I awoke and Lucy's bed was empty. She was not in the room. I ran outside and could see her reclining in the distance on the seat in the churchyard. It seemed as if a dark figure was bending over her. I ran to the churchyard, When I arrived, she was alone. Lucy! Lucy, wake up!
Oh,
Look at you, just in a nightgown. Let me put this shawl around your neck and shoulders.
oh,
Now don't move till I safety pin it around your throat.
oh,
Did I prick you with the pin?
I'm all right.
You're trembling. Let's go back into the house.
You mustn't tell my mother, Mina. You know her heart is weakening, and a sudden shock could probably kill her.
I won't tell her. Now come along. I've been clumsy with the pin. I must have pricked your throat.
Oh,
These 2 little red points and a drop of blood on your nightdress. I'm sorry.
I didn't feel it.
August 31st. No news from Jonathan, and Lucy seems to be growing weaker and more languid day by day, whilst her mother's hours are numbering to a close. At night, I hear her gasping for air. And last night, though the door was locked, she was sleepwalking again. I found her leaning out of the open window when I woke up from the sound of her gasping. I don't understand why you should feel so listless, Lucy. You eat and sleep well and enjoy the fresh air.
I don't know, Mina.
I hope it hasn't anything to do with that unlucky prick of my safety pin.
I'm sure it doesn't.
Those wounds haven't healed. If anything, they seem worse. Unless they start to get better, I insist you see a doctor about them.
You're being silly.
Edgy, perhaps. Why, last night, a bat flew by the window and gave me a start. I'm just worried about Jonathan. September 4th. At last, news of Jonathan. My dear husband has been ill. I am leaving to help nurse him in Budapest. He has been delirious. I hate to leave Lucy, but Arthur Seward is coming to look after her. It will do the doctor good to get away from the lunatic asylum he runs and come out here near the sea.
Dr. Seward's diary, 5 September. I'm going to see my fiancée, Lucy Westenra, today. She has not been well. The case of my patient Renfield grows more interesting. He is unstable and could prove dangerous. His hobby is catching flies.
Got you.
Renfield, do you always eat the flies you catch?
No, Dr. Seward, but that was a big one. A big, strong life.
What do you do with the others?
I feed them to my spiders. Look in my box. Aren't my spiders nice, Doctor?
Very nice, Renfield. Very nice. What do you do with your spiders?
When they get very big and fat, I eat them.
20 September. I have called in my old friend and master, Professor Van Helsing of Amsterdam, to look at Lucy. I'm quite concerned for her. Professor Van Helsing is one of the most advanced scientists of our time. He has a completely opened mind and the truest and kindliest heart in the world.
Your diagnosis, my friend?
Like I said, Professor Van Helsing, she is somewhat bloodless, but I do not detect the usual anemic signs. The qualitative analysis of her blood gives a quite normal condition. There must be a cause somewhere.
What her friend Mina Harker said to you is of considerable interest. I have made careful examination. I agree that there is no functional cause. There has been much blood lost. It has been, but is not.
What do you think of the marks on her throat?
What do you make of them?
I can make nothing of it. Absurd to think it might be the means of the blood loss.
We shall see. I must return to Amsterdam to examine my books and gather a few things. I shall be back soon, and then we begin. Send to me the telegram if her condition changes.
Into the spider's den for you.
You wanted to see me, Renfield?
I want to ask you a very great favor.
Yes?
I want a nice little kitten that I can play with, teach and feed and feed.
Would you not rather have a cat?
Oh, yes. I only ask for a kitten lest you should refuse me a cat.
Well, I must consider your request, but for the moment, it's not possible.
Oh.
26 September. My homicidal maniac is of a peculiar kind. What he desires is to absorb as many lives as he can, and he has laid himself out to achieve it in a cumulative way. Flies fed to spiders, spiders to cats. What would be his later steps? Thank God Van Helsing returns tomorrow. Lucy seems to be getting worse, and her mother is slipping away.
Lying down again this afternoon, Miss Lucy?
My God, she seems hardly conscious.
Quick, there's no time to be lost. She could die for sheer want of blood to keep the heart's action as it should be. There must be transfusion of blood at once.
I am younger and stronger, Professor. It must be me.
Get ready at once. I will get my bag. I am prepared. Now, little miss, here is some medicine. Drink it off.
You have some color back in your cheeks.
Thank you, Professor.
I have brought these flowers for you, Miss Lucy.
For me?
Yes, but not to play with. These are also medicines. I put in your window and rub on the door. I make a pretty wreath and hang around your neck so that you sleep well. Oh yes, they, like the lotus flower, make your trouble forgotten.
But, Professor, these flowers are common garlic.
Are you playing a joke on me, Professor?
No trifling with me. I never jest. There is a grim purpose in all I do, and I warn you that you do not thwart me. Oh, little miss, do not fear me. I only do it for your own good.
I'm sure you have a reason for what you do.
You would think you were working some spell to keep out an evil spirit.
Perhaps I am. Now, everything is right. Take care you do not disturb it, and even if the room feels close, do not open the window or the door.
I promise.
And you, my friend, soon it will be dark. Keep watch all night and do not sleep. And watch Miss Lucy. Good night.
You don't want to sleep?
No, I'm afraid.
Of sleep? Why?
All this weakness comes to me in sleep. I dream.
I'm here, my love. I promise nothing will happen. If I see any evidence of bad dreams, I will wake you.
You will?
Of course.
Then I will sleep.
29 September. Back at the asylum. Lucy is better. Van Helsing returns tomorrow morning and he will be pleased. Mrs. Westenra has insisted on taking over the task of watching her daughter. Perhaps it will do them both good. Yet the unexpected always happens, as can be noted by the strange and sudden change in Renfield. I was working in my study when the door burst open. Renfield, what are you doing here? Put away that knife! Keep back! Oh, my wrist! Back, I say!
Good punch, Doctor.
About time you got here, Mr. Swales.
Well, I only just discovered he escaped, sir.
Where's the other attendant?
Oh, Renfield knocked him out, sir. Oh, a nasty cut to your wrist, sir.
Yes, it's made quite a mess on the floor.